Welcome everyone to Smooth Operator, the series where we try to take Carlos Sainz and beat Lewis Hamilton for taking Sainz's seat at Ferrari, and in turn maybe also trying to beat Ferrari if we can do so. Ferrari right now, you can see 180 points in the standings. We're only at a lowly 39, so we're gonna try and make a difference this series. Obviously, last episode, 2 DNFs in the last 2 races, which has really put a damper on our point scoring occasions, but we do have new upgrades coming in for Imola here, and let's hope they do the trick to get us up into that top 5, and most importantly, let's hope we can finish a race for once. So looking at the calendar here, we have just had the Miami Grand Prix, and you can see here the 10th of May, we're gonna get 2 upgrades, being suspension design 3 and side pod design 3. And then right as the weekend starts in Italy, we're gonna get the the front wing design 4. And then the week after that, before the Monaco Grand Prix, the 5th chassis will be complete. I'll still have to see if I build that chassis or if we're again just gonna use it as a step up. But I think this most likely will be probably the last chassis design of this season, and we'll focus on other parts as well. And obviously, going back to that second race of last episode, it was actually, we didn't DNF, but we pretty much did. You know, we had that bad strategy call at the end of the episode where the track stayed in this kind of wet state. Even though the sun was out, the tracks were going around, or the cars were going around the track. And it just kind of stayed wet, and it never got below 1 millimeter of rain. So yeah, that was unfortunate. We were out on the soft tires at the end, and that made us drop all the way outside of the points. So unfortunate, but we'll look to recover this time around. And then, of course, again, a short look at the driver standings. Oscar Piastri is still in the lead, but Lando Norris made a big maneuver in the last episode to score a decent amount of points. And Lewis Hamilton has 96 points, but that means it is getting tougher for Sainz to get anywhere close. Max Verstappen just behind, just dropped 2 positions there the last 2 races. Charles Leclerc in 5th, George Russell, then Sainz. Kimi Antonelli, Liam Lawson, Lance Stroll getting inside the top 10. Pierre Gasly, Fernando Alonso, Bortoleto, Oliver Bearman, Nico Hulkenberg, Esteban Ocon, Jack Doohan, Yuki Tsunoda, Isaac Hadjar, and Alexander Albon, of course, in last. Alright guys, so as you can see, side pod design 3 has been completed. So we'll look to start manufacturing those, and then on top of that, as you can see, suspension 3 also done. So let's try and get some of those manufactured before this next race. So as you can see, side pod 3, it's not a massive change, but we do save some weight. The top speed we increase by a bit, and our medium and high speed, it's mostly our high speed that's going to increase, but again, it's another part that we can build on. So we'll try and manufacture some of these before the Imola Grand Prix. As you can see now, we can only manufacture 1, which we're going to rush, and then on top of that, we'll try to build 1 or 2 after we've rushed the first part here. Now if you look here, this is the suspension we made, suspension 3. This is also just a nice little overall improvement. Nothing too crazy, but again, a nice basis to build on. And we're also gonna rush one of those. It's only gonna cost us 450k, and then after that we can manufacture 1 or 2 of those extra. Alright guys, so as you can see, we've come up to the Imola weekend, and car performance is looking good for Carlos Sainz. 9th overall, top speed 9th, years effectiveness still 2nd, low speed 7th, which we actually have some low speed here at Imola. So obviously it is a fast track, but there is also a lot of low speed corners. In that middle sector you have the hairpin, and then that whole middle sector has quite a bit of medium to low speed corners, so we should be hopefully doing pretty well here. And then hopefully that DRS on the straightaway also helps us along. Meanwhile, Alex Albon isn't actually looking too bad. We've put some of the parts that Sainz was using previously on his car, and his overall performance is 12th. So yeah, not looking too bad. We'll see how we can get on. And then one thing here is you do see our balance at the moment. It's not looking great, but we do have our sponsor plan payout that is coming before the Monaco Grand Prix. So let's see how that goes, and then the next chassis will be complete as well. So yeah, then we can start some more projects, and we will see what we can do. So let's get into qualifying. All right, start of Q1. We've just done practice. It's gotten really well. Carlos Sainz has gotten just into qualifying now. Finished up practice, and it was looking really good. Sainz actually, we've perfected his setup. Obviously, he still has to gain some knowledge about the new parts on his cars, but he's looking really good. So we're gonna send him out in a second here to see what he can do on his banker lap. And also perfected the setup with Albon, so he, in theory, should be doing pretty good. Carlos's mentality, it has been negative, though, and Albon has been demoralized after a couple of bad races here, so we'll see what we can do. All right, so we're going to send Sainz out for a second lap here. 8/10 off Leclerc right now. Piastri not too far behind. Russell is there. Verstappen all very close, but Sainz right now around that 7th spot. Behrman actually with a good qualifying 6th. All right, so Sainz on his second lap. We're going to push down the main straightaway again. Let's hope we do well here. There's a slow-moving Ferrari. Let's hope we don't get blocked, because that would be really unfortunate. No, he stays out of the way. Does Albon get through cleanly? No, he's going to get blocked, is he? No. Okay, he's fine. Let's see. Coming across the line. What will it be for Sainz? No improvement. No improvement for Sainz. Albon is going to come across the line. He just about makes it, maybe, if Hülkenberg doesn't improve. We'll have to see and wait. So as the session comes to a close, I don't think Hülkenberg is on a flying lap. I think he's heading into the pits, so we should be fine. All right, again, Sainz gonna put down his banker lap. He's been looking okay so far. Still on the edge of that top 10. And obviously we are on that used set of tires like we always tend to do for the first run here. Just a banker lap, of course. And we are gonna get blocked, so good thing we're only on a bad set of tires. Yeah, this is going to be a throwaway lap. Let's just get through that one. It is going to be a 14-2, but yeah, it's just so far off. We'll mount the fresh tires and then go for another run. All right, Sainz now. Last lap, fresh set of tires in Q2 here. 30 seconds to go, so we've timed this really well. Albon comes up a bit behind Sainz. But Sainz now getting into the groove. Finding confidence throughout the lap. And what is it going to be? Down into the last two corners. Tricky downhill braking zone. To the outside of the curb. And then cutting aggressively down to the line. Short. Opening of the DRS. What is it going to be? P6. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, that was actually a really good lap. Only 2/10 off the time that Norris did, so hefty improvement. Albon not improving. He will stay P15, but Sainz, again, really good qualifying session, so let's see here. Wow, look at this. Look how close this is. Top 7 on 2/10 away from each other, pretty much. So that could be a really interesting race. Might be Norris or Piastri. It's going to be Norris in front of us. But Sainz improving through both sectors. We're not looking bad, but Piastri improves to a 11-0. Just about. Coming through the last corners now. Down the main straight. DRS will open. And what's it going to be? Ooh, sneaking ahead of Hamilton. Not too far behind Antonelli. So inside that top 6. Very nice. And, oh, Tsunoda actually just about gets ahead of us. But Hamilton's still on a flying lap, so he will probably improve. We'll be dropped down to 8th. Russell coming across the line. He's surely going to be faster. Yeah, down to 8th now. Hamilton, what is he going to do? Oh, also improves. So P9 now. And then Stroll is also going to come across the line. Let's just see what he does. Okay, so Stroll stays P10. All right, guys, so after an intense qualifying session there, Oscar Piastri takes pole position by 0.2 over Charles Leclerc. Then comes Lando Norris, George Russell in 4th, Lewis Hamilton 5th, Max Verstappen 6th, Andrea Kimi Antonelli 7th, Yuki Tsunoda 8th, Carlos Sainz 9th, Lance Stroll 10th, Liam Lawson just outside the top 10 in the Racing Bull, Pierre Gasly, Oliver Bearman, Fernando Alonso, Alexander Albon in 15th, Jack Doohan, then the 2 kick Saubers of Bortoleto and Hulkenberg. Then comes Isaac Hadjar, and Esteban Ocon will line up last on the grid. Let's see if we can improve our positions, but I have confidence in Sainz. He needs to bounce back from last 2 races, and we need to score some decent points finally. One more thing to take into account, there is a 100% safety car chance historically on this track. So, let's just keep that in mind. When it comes to strategy, and maybe if we have to make a decision on the go, we have to kind of see how that plays out, but let's get into the race.
Welcome back, everyone. The final preparations are now being made as we head into the race. There's a chance for Esteban Ocon to show what he can do here.
P20 is definitely not where any driver would want to find themselves. But they've got to get their head down and work hard.
Right, let's get to it then. This is it.
All right, waiting for the 5 red lights. And we are off for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz and Alexander Albon both heavily underfueled. We're going to try here to hold on to 10th, it is, with Sainz. We were in 9th, but just about got past there. And the strategy here is to really focus on our tires and not get too distracted with unnecessarily fighting. Sainz hooking up nicely to the back of the train in front. We've started to use some under-fueling strategies because we need some extra performance to go our way, pretty much. Sainz a little bit aggressive here if we can. And then Albon is just going to stay super aggressive for the time being. The Sainz, yeah. We just need to make sure that we hold on to that train in front of us. Let's go on board here to get a better look. Everyone is still very tightly knit together. And yeah, we'll just stay in this mode for a second, and then for the second lap, we're gonna try and go to the standard aggressiveness if we can. Okay, so again, we just want to make sure we're as close as possible to the cars ahead. Antonelli is in risk of losing the 7-car train ahead, so you have to keep an eye on that. Then Albon, we're just gonna try to chill out with a little bit as well. And again, we're just going to keep the engine mode up for a little bit here before we start saving. We have a lot of laps and a lot of DRS train games to get through. There we go. Nice pass from Sainz back up into 9th, getting past Stroll, which is important. Let's hope he doesn't challenge us back again. We'll just keep Sainz in deployment so we can get to the back of Antonelli and Hamilton as well. And let's try to save into the middle sector here. And just using some deployment with Sainz to stay with the top 8 here. We really want to try and get up close so we can get some decent slipstream and we can stop using all our deployment. That would be ideal, just like here. This should be close enough to pick up enough slipstream. And we'll have to harvest with Albon. He did overtake Behrman, which is nice. So Albon here around Behrman in the chicane, which is a pretty daring move. He pulled that off in real life last year, which was very nice. Getting fairly close here and right onto the back of the leading pack once again, whilst we are leaving behind Lance Stroll. So this is good now. Let's try and deploy here. Maybe we can set up an attack if we need to. Let's see here. Might not be close enough. No, I don't think so. Move to the inside, perhaps? Nope, not quite, not quite. And we can think about a move or two here. Oh, up the inside. Up the inside goes Sainz. And then we're going to get right up to the back of Hamilton, I think. Oh, let's use some deployment so we don't use the slipstream or lose the train ahead. That's what I wanted to say. There we go. Let's take a look at that overtake. Oh, and that's a it's a daring move. I don't think we would see that in real life, but hey, fair enough. Carlos can definitely pull that off. That's what we want to see. Okay, back into harvest mode now. Let's hope we don't get re-overtaken by Antonelli. Oh, something happened. Is that already the first safety car? No. Oh, Antonelli spun. That's good. So we overtook Antonelli, and or was that? I'm not sure. Did we overtake Antonelli? Yes, we did. And then afterwards he spun. He was just so intimidated by Carlos Sainz that we made him spin. That's great. Again, you're gonna use some deployment with Sainz to keep up. And again, now we just tire save with Albon and keep him on neutral deployment because else it's gonna be a bit rough. Can we try another move here on to Hamilton? No, he is gonna deploy. But that is good though, because now we can catch up back to that train in front of us, which is ideal. Again, we're creating more distance here with Lance Stroll. So this is helping us. We're keeping up with the top 8 here, which is really good. And then maybe if we take a look at the tire wear, maybe we start thinking about saving the tires a little bit wherever we can. But again, it might be a case of us not being able to do that, because you see as soon as we run out of ERS or anything else, we're in a lot of trouble. So I think we just have to bite the bullet and say we're not as fast as the cars ahead, but the squabbling definitely helps. And then again, most of this... oh! Whoa, what happened there? We'll have to deploy now. Albon overtakes Gasly. Yeah, sure, I saw that, but... Oh, but that's really good as well. But is that a double overtake by Albon? Holy moly. Okay, Alex, I see you. I see you. But a lockup. Oh, by Hamilton, yeah. I was thinking already. He made such a weird movement, but there wasn't any tire smoke when we were watching it. That's what made it a little bit weird. Did Antonelli spin again? Yes, he did. He spun twice. Wow. Okay, we'll let Sainz push through this last sector here. Try to catch up to Piastri, which he should be able to. All I want him to do really is just be on the back of him. Get inside the DRS, and then we can maybe think about saving the tires a little bit. Getting closer. Really cutting up that chicane. And now Sainz should be able to latch on to the back of Piastri here. Piastri no DRS, and we will get DRS. That is positive. We'll already put Sainz to a more gentle tire wear mode here, light tire wear, or the light aggressiveness. I messed up there a little bit with the deployment, which might cost me dearly. So let's just try and catch up again. Okay, using some deployment again. We're going to deploy wherever we can here to try and catch up, but it's going to be a rough one, and we might have to try and change to a 2-stop. So let's just harvest as much as we can and try to catch up, but I think, oh, we really need the cars in front to fight. That's what it comes down to, I think, because our tire wear isn't going to last this way. So 10 laps in, looking like a solid P7 for Sainz now, but Leclerc out of reach. We are in front of Hamilton, which is, you know, good for the cause. All right, guys, so for the strategy, we are on lap 11 now. We've made a possible alternate strategy. It kind of depends to see if we can maybe undercut the cars in front. The thing being, of course, that they might go to the hard tires until the end because they have better tire wear, so they will be able to manage that. We will be very, very close on tire wear. Like, we'll be cutting it very close. If you can see here, we actually have to go below 30% wear, which I don't like to do, but yeah, we will see. We will see if we can manage. All right, positive news for us. Lance Stroll with another lockup, so that is another competitor that is really struggling, P9, so again, more chance for points for us with both drivers. So yeah, looking good. We're on still on that yellow flag, but on lap 13 now. So, and Albon still just holding on to Hulkenberg, saving some tires, saving some fuel, and Sainz also just saving more fuel. But he is keeping distance to Hamilton. Unfortunately, we are losing the front six. They're kind of just in a big DRS train, creating some distance. But hey, close racing creates incidents. We are almost guaranteed a safety car here, so I hope something happens in the front six here that we can take advantage of. But yeah, I'll report back when we get some more action or when we get to the pit stop phase. All right, guys, we're doing an early pit stop here, lap 20. Nothing has really changed. Hamilton closing in a little bit on Sainz, but we're just kind of stuck in no man's land. You can see it here on the mini map. Again, that top 6 has now turned into a top 4 with Tsunoda and Piastri trailing behind in a group of 2. And with Albon here, we're just going to try and undercut. Again, it's a slow stop. I don't know why. Horrible pit stop. Let's hope that is only for Alex Albon today. But I just want to see here how the pace increases for Albon on these next 2 laps or so. If it is really good, then we might just bring Sainz in to try and make something work. So last lap for Albon on 19.8, which is a bit faster than the cars we're looking to overtake with Albon. About a second or so faster, 0.2 than Bortoleto. They're still doing pretty well on those tires, but let's hope we can take advantage of that, and we'll push Sainz for one more lap, and then we'll make him pit here, as you can see. All right, so coming into the pits here, Carlos Sainz, please be a good pit stop. Obviously, doing more pit stops, we're increasing the risk of bad pit stops, but I mean, we have to try something, right? Again, let's just hope no safety car comes out as we pit here. So, all right, decent stop. Yeah, 2.46 seconds. Very good stop. We'll have some traffic to deal with. Hopefully we come out in front of that train of 2. We should do. And then let's try and cut our way through the field with Sainz. Here they come. We should be ahead of them. Yes, we are. All the cars in front nearly pit. They should. Duan should pit. Antonelli should pit soon. So yeah, we have a nice bit of clean air here with Sainz to work with. And could possibly undercut the likes of Lewis Hamilton. There we go, more people coming into the pits. And we're just going to go to standard now. And we'll see now what Bortoleto and Doohan decide to do 4 tires as they come into the pits. What will it be? Are they going to go to the hards? Yes. One of them, Doohan, is going to hards. And what is Bortoleto doing? Okay, so everyone going to hards then. Let's hope our double stop pays off. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the hards do in terms of pace. But I really hope that we can do something here on these medium tires and make a little bit of a difference in the long run, and then push really hard on that last stint on the softs. All right, coming up to Ocon here. He's on very worn tires, so maybe he'll pit this time around, but he will give us a nice bit of DRS. Yes, he does move into the pits, but we will get a nice bit of DRS down the straightaway here. We'll also get back past Lawson. Hamilton is really pushing long on those medium tires. So are all the front runners, which is a bit concerning because they will definitely manage about 30 laps on those hard tires. But I'm just trying to get ahead of Lewis Hamilton, who has now come into the pits. It's one of the longest pits here. Very slow pit and long pit, so we should comfortably get ahead of Hamilton, I hope. Good pit stop for the Ferrari boys there, but we are already on the main straightaway, and Hamilton is still quite far away from that pit limiter board. So yeah, nice undercut from us. Getting quite far ahead of Hamilton. Jesus. Stumbling on the words. Let's see, what kind of advantage do we have now? About 10 seconds, so yeah. We created a nice advantage there for ourselves. We're also on the faster compound tire. So let's hope we can somewhat hold on with that and then come back at Lewis Hamilton towards the end. All right, into the latter stages of the race here. Lewis Hamilton came back at us with the hard tires, so they've really come alive here towards the end of the race. And yeah, it seems like our 2-stop isn't working out. I'm sure, you know, Hamilton without a lockup is in a much faster car. As we can see, Charles Leclerc is still in third. But I guess we're still gonna just commit to our 2-stopper here. We might try and latch onto the back of Hamilton here. We've saved our fuel, but it might just be it's one of those races where nothing really has happened. I was trying to hold on for the safety car, but yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like that is gonna happen anytime soon anymore. Most of the cars are on their kind of own island, and then Alex Albon has just completely dropped back. All right, pushing with Sainz now, trying to get back up to the back of Hamilton, but he is keeping distance pretty well here. But you can see how far we are behind those top 6 cars, so we still have a lot of work to do if we want to catch up with them. Very long pit lane here. Let's hope the boys can manage a good stop here. Oh, again, it's a slow stop. Oh, it's slow. Man, we better get back up to P8 now. We're going to drop behind Antonelli now. Oh, and behind... Ooh, this might not be good. We're going to drop behind all of the front runners. So we need to just hope that we can latch onto the back of one of them. This is Yuki Tsunoda coming past now. And again, we're just going to have a bunch of them here. Lewis Hamilton. Or no, that's Charles Leclerc. Let's just try and hold on to the back of him. Let's not get Russell involved as well. I don't want to slow down even more. All right, we've finally 10 laps to go. We've finally gotten past Max. Let's try and put some distance on him so we don't have to... we don't get blue flags here. So let's just push. Use some of that deployment. And then who else do we have ahead? It's going to be Norris, I assume. But then our own teammate is going to be in front of us. So we'll make sure to have him not fight us. You can probably go down to a normal deployment mode. Sainz just still pushing. Nearly onto the back of Antonelli. Oh, again, and so Antonelli's stuck here behind. That is going to be Norris, I assume. Yes, it is. So could we somewhat take advantage of this and maybe move past Antonelli and then maybe move past Norris? Would be good. Okay, so trying to get past Antonelli, which I think we will be able to manage on the soft tire here. We should be able to. There we go. We slot in ahead of him. There we go. Let's take a look at that replay again. So finally some action here towards the end of the race. Obviously, we aren't going to gain anything. There we go. Through that first S section, or the second S section. And now onto the back of Lando Norris. Let's hope we can in some way get past him as well. And then think about getting past Fernando Alonso, who's also dealing with some kind of issue. Here we go now. He is coming up close to Alonso. The question now being, can we take advantage of Alonso slowing down? Can we just get through right away? That would be nice. Alonso slows down. Yes, we do get past. So nice pass here for Sainz, taking advantage tactically of Alonso. Again, in essence, I would have liked to have gotten past Lando just to kind of see what kind of pace we could put up against Hamilton, but obviously it's far too late now, so nothing much we can do. And Alonso is now somewhat sticking to the back of us. No, we're just sticking right behind him. Carlos is unwilling to overtake him. Let's try one more time on the straightaway here, but I doubt we'll do anything. Oh, is he gonna go for the move now? Yes, he is. Okay. Fair enough, Sainz. Fair enough. You've listened. Let's see now. For fun, let's just push for a couple of laps here. All right, last lap here. Norris has gotten past wow. Norris has gotten past us again. The hard tires now coming into play. The softs running out of tire life, but you can see once we got past Norris, we did gain about 3 seconds, I want to say about a second a lap. So if we didn't get stuck in all that traffic, I think the strategy could have worked out, but honestly, fighting Hamilton was always going to be a tough task, no matter how we played the strategy, I think. So yeah, it was a decent race for Sainz. He's going to finish P8. But I don't think any more. I don't think there was any more in it today. So Norris is going to come across the line, victorious here with Carlos Sainz right behind him, a lap down. And crazy to think that in P8 we're a lap down on the leader. Obviously we had that 2 stop, so probably lost a little bit of time there, but not too bad. Yes, Sainz definitely tried his best. So not bad, and then Albon just struggling throughout the race.
And among the drivers heading back to their teams, we see Carlos Sainz.
That marked an 8th place finish, which gives them a handful of points.
Lando Norris certainly loves a podium, heading up there now to celebrate again.
4 superb wins to their name now this year, and it's been a pleasure watching them drive.
Well, Formula One certainly feels at home in Italy, and it looks like those 3 feel right at home too. Now, Karun, no doubt there'll be a lot for the teams to process after that race, but how do you think the Williams team are feeling?
Well, it was a bit of a mixed bag here. Some things went their way, but others didn't. I think their main target now will be finding some consistency for sure.
And that's about it for our time here in Imola.
For the next Grand Prix, make sure you join us at the renowned city circuit of Monaco. Prepare yourselves for one of the most legendary rounds of the season.
Alright guys, so Lando Norris finishes in first place, Charles Leclerc second, Max Verstappen in third, another good showing. George Russell finishing fourth, Oscar Piastri not a great run, finishing fifth, Yuki Tsunoda in sixth, doing good in the Red Bull, picking up his first points finally after 2 DNFs. Lewis Hamilton in seventh. Carlos Sainz picking up 4 points, so not too bad, but losing out on the rival Lewis Hamilton, of course. Then Andrea Kimi Antonelli in 9th, Fernando Alonso in 10th, then Liam Lawson, Pierre Gasly. Both of the kick Saubers still close together, 13th and 14th, Shaq doing 15th, Stroll 16th, 17th is Ocon, Isaac Hadjar 18th, then Oliver Bearman, and then Alexander Albon. What does that do for the driver standings? Lando Norris with 130 points takes the lead now from Oscar Piastri, who scores 10 points. Then comes Max Verstappen gaining a spot again over Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton, who are now very tightly matched with 102 points each. George Russell is in 6th. Sainz now in 7th, increasing his lead a little bit over Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Liam Lawson in 9th, Lance Stroll 10th. Fernando Alonso gaining a spot in 11th, then Pierre Gasly. Yuki Tsunoda finally getting points on the board, and I think we will see much more of those occasions. So he's going to start helping Red Bull out, that is for sure. Then Gabriel Bortoleto, Bearman, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Doohan, Hadjar, and Albon. If we take a look at the constructors, McLaren are starting to distance themselves from Ferrari, so they're getting into form now. 247 points with Ferrari's 204. Red Bull 135 points. Then come Mercedes with 107. Williams with 43 points. And then Aston Martin. So, you know, we are gaining on those cars behind us. We're best of the rest. But the big thing is we're starting to lose a lot of ground here to Ferrari now. And, you know, each of their drivers are scoring good points. So we're not fully out of fighting with Hamilton, I think, but it is starting to look unlikely. But we just need a couple more upgrades, I feel like, and then we can really start scoring some points with Carlos Sainz, fighting for that top 5 maybe. Aston Martin 6th, Alpine 7th, Kick Sauber 8th, Haas 9th, and Racing Bull still in last with 10 points. All right, and then taking a look at the race objectives, of course, we did pass the race objective with Carlos Sainz, so that is a positive. Again, Alexander Albon not managing. He seemed to do pretty well towards the start, and even the qualifying, he looked pretty promising. But I think it was that floor that he destroyed during free practice, the second floor, which made him go back to the first floor. That really kind of screwed his race over. But overall, the pace wasn't too strong. But that being said, Monaco next. Our low speed is pretty good. So let's see what we can do there. All right, guys, that was it for today. Bit of an uneventful race here at Imola. Let's hope we can come back stronger at Monaco. We do have a new chassis underway that will be done before the Monaco Grand Prix. And we might consider rushing a part or emergency manufacturing it for Sainz so we can start scoring some very good points. But obviously we have to keep our budget in mind. So we'll weigh out the options and see what comes next. We also have to keep our development plan going, of course. But if you guys liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing if you want to see more of my content coming up. There's going to be some real life stuff as well that I can't really, it's going to be a bit of a surprise. And then on top of that, maybe click the bell icon to make sure you get notified of the next episodes. And I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh, we're just trying to get past Max Verstappen here. I think it is in front of us. Yes, it is. But obviously we're a back marker, so he's obviously not wanting to let us get past. And Sainz isn't really trying either, which again is just a bit frustrating here as we're trying to catch back up to Alonso, which only about 11 laps remaining now to do that.